Good morning. Hope everyone's is wazzing. I am. I'm Waz. Did you know? It's Higurashi. Man, streaming like how many days in a row have I streamed? Is it like 3 or 4? Doing this? I don't know if it's good for me because I'm getting like so excited about streaming. And I'm like, okay, is this too much excitement? um Where we were Higurashi. Okay, let me think what happened last time. We went to the Watanagashi festival and we ate like takoyaki without uh is it octopus or squid? I forgot anyways. One of them. They didn't have any of that in it. And then we did like sales pitches and stuff. That was fun. That was funny. And then we ended up like missing pretty much all of Rika's performance because we went off trying to find uh, a good spot to see what was happening, and then we ran into Shion, and Shion's like, "Shh, come with me." And then we saw Tomitake and Takano breaking into the storehouse. And so of course we went in. Tomitake waited outside. Takano told us scary stories, spooky stories about Hinamizawa's history, and we saw a bunch of tools that are for torture. Um, Sorry, I'm looking at my internet. It's like missing a bar, and so I'm like, okay, am I dropping out already? Um, I'm so pissed at my internet, man. Like it's so annoying how it drops out. Anyways, yeah, we did that. Apparently, Tomitake pointed out that there was a banging sound, and Shion said that she heard a sound like someone jumping like up and down on floorboards. But we didn't hear it. Don't know if Takano did. She may have, but it may not. It may have just like not bothered her at all. Yep. So, yep. And then we left the storehouse, uh, uh, yep. That's the Watanagashi. Um, then we went to school. Mion had a hangover, and she was like, "Keiichi, did you see Takano or Tomitake last night?" Keiichi's like, "I don't know, I don't remember." And then she's like, "Did you see Shion?" And he's like, "I don't know, maybe, like, you two look alike." And she's like, "Well, we were wearing different clothes." And he's like, "I don't know, I don't remember." And then we met up with Shion and like in the library, like going to the library in Okinomiya. And then Oishi, fucking that guy, shows up, and he's like, did you see Tobitake or Takano?" And Keishi's like, "I don't know, maybe, I don't think so." And then he's like, "Did you see Shion?" And he's like, "I don't know, I could have, she looks like Mion." And then he's like, "They're like wearing different clothes," or something like that. He asks like the same questions, and Keiichi like tries to give him the same answers. um I think that's where we left off. Shion also ditched us. Like, or she shows up, she's like, "I gotta go, Onion! Hello! Good to see ya!" But yeah, I think that's the important stuff that happened. Let's continue. I was on my way back home. I was on my way back home. The cries are, oh! This is when they cry? This is when the Higurashi cry? Oh, the cry. The cries of the Higurashi accentuated the already lonely evening. More time had passed than I had thought. The orange of the dusky sky was being chased down, little by little, by an indigo color approaching from the east. Exhausted from the slow climb towards Hinamizawa, without even noticing, I'd gotten off my bicycle and was pushing it uphill. Oh yeah, also there was... the cops found a burned body in an oil drum. And I believe they couldn't identify it, but they found some matching dental records. I don't remember if we got the identity of the body. Yeah. Alright, exhausted from the slow climb towards Hinamizawa, even without even noticing, I'd gotten off my bicycle and was pushing it uphill. I don't understand any of this. No one had told me to my face that I'd done something wrong. No, in fact, it might have been much easier on me that way. What happened yesterday really was just my curiosity. It really was no more than a quiet prank, no more than having the courage to cross at a red light as long as you did it with other people. The storehouse for ritual implements, hallowed ground, only accessible to the family of the priest. For sure, I'd seen terrifying things that I'd never imagined would be there. Thinking on it now, though, it didn't matter what was stored away inside. It didn't make the wrong I'd committed any more right. What the four of us did, Mion seemed to know about it. For some reason, even the police were trying to learn what the four of us did. Did we do something bad? So bad? Really. It doesn't matter how wrong it was. I did something wrong. It was nothing more than that, and yet I couldn't accept it. I didn't apologize to Mion or Oishi-san. All I did was shield myself with ambiguities. I did something wrong yesterday. I set foot into a forbidden storehouse for a little bit of mischief. I'll forget everything I saw in there. I won't ever do something like that again, either. I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Damn, Keiichi's really feeling, like, incredibly guilty. I mean, like, he is just a kid, and he's, like, being... Like, two separate people have confronted him. One is his friend, and the other is a cop, who is... He's a scary guy. He's intimidating. And he didn't really want to go in the first place, but he's like, well, you know, my friend's doing it, so I'll go. If I apologize like that, would they forgive me? The suddenly cool evening air left no room for such sentiment, however, as it mercilessly chilled my feet, urging me to head home as soon as possible. So, I think that this is like the start. I'm assuming this is going to be the start of Keiichi's paranoia again, like in the first episode. And I'm really interested to see how his paranoia, like assuming this is something that will continue to happen throughout the episodes. I'm interested to see what the cause behind that is. Is it because it's just kind of who he is, or like there's something, yeah, I don't know. In the end, the evening air was correct. If I trudged along such an isolated road, regrets would pile on top of regrets, but nothing would change. Let's go home. I'll go home to my room, put on my favorite music or something, and go to bed. That might sound plain and boring, but it's probably the strongest I've felt all day. Ooh. Now that I've made a decision, there's no point in dawdling in a place like this. I sat back on my bike. I pushed hard on the pedals. I rapidly advanced forward. I steadily gained speed. The wind was cutting and mercilessly cold, but it actually felt good, as if it was softly punishing me. I didn't eat much dinner before excusing myself early and returning to my bedroom. My mum called me from downstairs. Keiichi, you have a call. It's from Sonozaki-san. Which one? Which one? Sonozaki? Was it Mion? No, it was Shion. I just remembered. She'd had something she wanted to tell me today. Oishi-san had interrupted us, so she didn't get the chance. Shion had said she'd call tonight. Damn Oishi. Hello? Is that you, Shion? Hello? Ran into a bit of trouble today, didn't we? She said it so plainly that I got a bit annoyed. She was the one who left me there and ran. Don't say that. I gave you the signal to run away with me, didn't I? You just sat there looking dazed, Kei-chan. I wasn't dazed. All of a sudden you left me there, and after that I had to put up with that Oishi guy for ages. Don't complain to me about it. I can't believe she passed it off like that. She looks just like Mion, and yet inside she's this different. I got a little irritated at myself when I realized I was, somewhere in my mind, hoping for the same reaction I would get from Mion, even though she's a different person. Sorry. Next time I'll run away first thing and leave you there. Hey, it's ladies first! Jion laughed refreshingly. When I heard her voice, I realized that she wasn't really that angry or anything. It was just as she said. The cause of my temper was because it was my own fault for not leaving immediately. I'll stop blaming it on others. Blaming it on others would be... Anyway, you had something to tell me, right? Oh yeah. I mean, if you already know, then it's not something that bears repeating. Do you already know? This about the body? Shion lowered her voice suddenly, as if she were glancing around. I had no idea what I could already know. Sorry, but I have no clue what you're talking about. At least give me a hint. That means you don't know. He doesn't know. She seemed to take my stupid-sounding question as evidence. However, her voice didn't sound disappointed or exasperated in the slightest. Actually, it's about last night, during the Watanagashi festival. My entire body jolted as I was assailed by a terrible feeling. Is Shion going to ask me the same thing? Hello? Kei-chan, are you listening? Yeah, I am. What about last night? The four of us went in there, right? Didn't beat around the bush. Whether or not I wanted to admit it, that was the actual honest truth, and I couldn't act like it hadn't happened. And after that, we walked away together, and then went our separate ways near the stone stairs, right? Takano-san and Tomitake-san went to the stream, and you stayed there, Kei-chan. I went over to see some relatives. Shion, stop like saying out loud everything that we did, because if someone is listening to this... Pretty incriminating. Yeah. Why do you ask? We won't make any progress if we keep asking each other questions, so let me ask this question first, okay? You mean, did I see Tomitake-san and Takano-san last night? Huh? Oh, yes. Did you see the two of them after that? I'd be lying if I said I wasn't surprised. This is the third time I've been asked this question today. Why? Why? What the hell was going on? Why? Why are you asking me that? No, Kei-chan, I'm asking the question. Please answer me. Did you, Shion? If you answer first, then I'll answer. My shabby response betrayed how scared and small I felt now, after everything that had happened today. So her being like, the four of us went in there, right? And we walked away together. Like, it's kind of vague. And that makes me, I'm like, okay, is this Mion trying to get answers? But, I mean, Shion giving this detail about the trouble, and then she gave the signal to run away. That makes me think, like, probably not Mion, unless Shion's already, like, called Mion and, like, given her the rundown on what's happened in the day. I don't know. But for her, like, kind of asking for confirmation makes me suspicious, but it could also be her being like, if she knows that, like, someone's died, and she's like, holy fucking shit, like, am I in this? Like, am I alone in this? Like, maybe she's looking for an ally. Yon didn't say anything for a few moments. Just as I was beginning to think I'd really put my foot in my mouth with that response, she finally answered me. Of course I didn't see them. My relatives were with me and they can vouch for that. Echo! That's a me! Good to see ya! I didn't see them either. People can vouch for me too, like Mion, Rena, and everyone else. Now that we knew our answers matched. She let out a sigh that sounded more relieved than anything else. Thank you for answering me honestly. Okay, then I'll tell you. I think Miku likes this game. Really loaded question. You know, I mean, there's like infinite Mikus. Miku can be whatever you want. So yeah, I think she did. She does. Did, as if like Miku's dead. Rest in peace, Hatsune Miku. You would have loved Higurashi when they cry. Anyways. Apparently last night, Takano-san and Tomitake-san died. Sorry, Shion. What was that you just said? Apparently, last night, Takano-san and Tomitake-san died. Takano-san was found burned to death. Tomitake-san was, well, it looked like a suicide. I found out this morning. I heard my dad talking to a relative on the phone about it. Late last night, a police car on its way back from festival security duty had discovered Tomitake-san lying in the middle of the road heading towards Okinomiya. That's like last time. He had clawed out his throat and died, just like last time. What? He clawed out his own throat? That bright, cheerful Tomitake-san committed suicide? That can't possibly be right. Police did an autopsy. He did it with his own fingernails. He scratched at his throat so hard that he ruptured his blood vessels and bled out. He died in a pool of his own blood. That's what they said. I've never heard of such an insane suicide. You can't just scratch open your own throat like that. Yeah. I realized I was yelling too loudly, so I lowered the force I was putting into my voice. I didn't want my parents to hear me, so I switched to the cordless phone and ran up to my own room. Sorry for yelling. So, was Takano-san, was that a suicide too? In her case, it's a little unclear. Takano-san's body was found in the mountains of Gifu Prefecture. So that's, what the cops were talking about. Employees at a rest stop nearby reported to the police late that night that they could see flames in the mountains. The firefighters dispatched there were the first ones to find her. An autopsy concluded that it was the burned corpse of a half-naked female. They initially considered the body beyond recognition, but directly after, there was a request for a dental comparison from the prefectural police station in Okinomiya, and the results concluded that it was Mio Takano. The cause of death wasn't confirmed, but it was highly likely to have been a homicide since she was in her undergarments and her clothes were nowhere in the area. The oil drum had fallen over, so it's also possible she burned herself to death. It couldn't possibly have been suicide. If you're gonna die, there are plenty of easy ways, aren't there? This can't be suicide. Okay, this is a lot to think about. Because I believe last time Takano was missing? Tomitake died, but I think that she was missing, so like she was kind of counted as the one that went missing. One dies, one goes missing. But this time she's also dead. When a body is not recognizable, that instantly makes me go, they're like trying to hide something. Like the first thing that comes to mind is the person that they're trying to make it look like. Yeah, the person they're trying to make it, the person who oh my god, words. They're trying to make it look like the person who died. Someone's trying to make it look like someone died when they didn't die. That's what I'm trying to say. And so also for the body to be burned, that probably makes it a little difficult to tell when they died. That kind of muddies the time of death, I would think. The dental records are interesting. Yeah, I don't know exactly how that works. Because I don't think it can be like, oh, I'm just gonna like, you know, pull out a tooth of like mine and throw it in there. I don't think that works. So for it to match up with Mio Takano's dental records, but still, and for her to be undressed, that could obviously mean a number of things, but going along the line of thought where someone tried to make it look like she's died when she hasn't, my brain goes to, okay, the Takano we met, or someone's like stolen her clothes and is gonna pretend to be her. Whether that means, because if the time of death is obscured, it could be that the Mio Takano we met last night isn't Mio Takano. but someone pretending to be her. Or it could be the same one that we met last night who has been burned. I mean, it depends if she shows up. But no, she wouldn't show up because she's meant to be dead. So why would someone show up looking like her? That would just not make sense. It would make sense to me at this point in time. I'm like, okay, someone killed the real Mio Takano, stole her clothes, pretended to be her, and then made it look like she was murdered. Yeah. It's interesting. There's a lot to think about. My brain is like and of course, I mean, just this whole thing really does, I don't know. Because also in the last episode where Takano was the one that went missing, that's suspicious. Someone goes missing, like, in a mystery like this, it's suspicious. If there's no body, then, like, that's as good as not actually being dead. To me, you know? To the reader, to the detective. Yeah. And Tomitake is clearly like, it's clearly him. He tore out his throat. Yeah, I don't know. We'll keep going. I will keep speculating. But yeah, I love this shit, man. It makes my brain think so much. That's what I think. It's unthinkable that Tomitake-san would kill himself too. But yeah, and there's the idea that, yeah, that she could have, like, died by suicide as well. And also, Takano is a nurse as well, I believe. And I don't know if that means she can tamper with dental records and stuff. I'm just suspicious of her. But I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. That's the thing. Among Us. Oh my god, it's just my theory is just Among Us. She's imposter. Outdated meme, my favorite. No, it never gets old. There's some memes that just don't get old. You know, a lot of memes do, but there's some that just always great. Red imposter or blue imposter? Well, she's like, I don't think she's either. I don't know, she's like green or pink or yellow. Okay, so that's so stupid. What if his pronouns aren't they them and it's instead sus? Game theory. You're onto something, Echo. I think you got it. You've cracked the case. Okay, so Shion's dad talking to a relative on the phone about it this morning. A police car found Tomitake. That's basically the same as last episode. It's unclear. Body was found in the mountains of Gifu Prefecture. Yeah, employees at a rest stop nearby reported to the police late that night that they could see flames in the mountains. I don't know how far away this is from Hinamizawa. But I'm sure we will find out more details. Her clothes were nowhere in the area. Yeah. Alright. After the two of us rattled on at each other, there was a silence as we paused to catch our breaths, and as we calmed our nerves. Right then, I understood what Shion's story actually meant. I think it will end up being Oyashiro-sama's curse. We all did more than enough to deserve it, after all. Deserve? You've gotta be kidding! It's not like Shion wanted to see it with me. I just went along with her. I tried to say that, but I fell silent. Nothing would come of me blaming others. It didn't matter how much everyone else encouraged me. I could have put my foot down. I lost my own half-assed sense of adventure and agreed to go in with them. Yes, it was my fault and no one else's. Shion, last night when we snuck into the ritual storehouse, did you predict things would turn out this way? Why would she? Oh, you know, they're probably gonna die and one of them's gonna, like, claw out his own throat and the other one's gonna be found in the mountains, burned in an oil drum beyond recognition in her underwear. No. Of course not. I mean, I thought it was pretty risky, but I never even dreamed something like this could happen. Shion's words were probably her true feelings. She knew she could get in trouble if we were caught, but that was the thrill of this little adventure. It was the same for me. Besides that, Kei-chan, think about it for a moment. Didn't Oyashiro-sama's curse turn out to be a little strange this year? It was already plenty strange, seeing as how Tomitake-san and Takano-san died like that. Even all that, what could possibly be stranger? I mean that they found 2 corpses. Remember what I said? Every other year, one person would die and one person would disappear. This year is the first time 2 people have been found dead. There's also, like, cause the last episode, we don't know what happened to Takano. She went missing. I'm pretty sure. And so it's like, okay, did the same thing happen last episode and they just didn't find her body? Or is it different this time around? And why is it different? Why is this even happening? Why are we seeing the story multiple times, but it's playing out in different ways? That hasn't been addressed. Whether that is just a, like, I don't know if it is, what's the word? Is it, like, diegetic? Is that the diegetic?
Diegetic.
Yes, diegetic. Of sound in film, television program, etc., occurring within the context of the story and able to be heard by the So diegetic is both the audience and film. Non-diegetic is only the ears. So is this kind of looping, I don't know if diegetic is the right phrase, but is it actually is it just for us, the audience? Or does it also hold some meaning for the characters in this story? Even though it seems like, you know, Keiichi doesn't remember what happened last time. Like, are these linked somehow? Is it... yeah. I mean that they found 2 corpses. Remember what I said? Every other year, one person would die and one person would disappear. This year is the first time 2 people have been found dead. That may be true, but that's not a huge deal, is it? It is, Kei-chan. Think about it harder. Listen. If 2 people died because of Oyashiro-sama's curse, oh, 2 people are gonna go missing. And in order to quell Oyashiro-sama's anger, 2 people would need to be sacrificed. Is that how it works? So what? Tomitake-san and Takano-san died, so now 2 people are going to go missing this year? Ichi, you dumbass. I don't understand why, but when I said that, I felt my spine freeze. I don't think anyone's been confirmed missing yet. I think that those 2 people have yet to disappear. Shion, like me, was obviously getting the same feeling crawling down her back. 2 people have yet to disappear? Shion didn't answer. I couldn't say any more than that either. A chill crept in through my clothes and tried to wrap into a fist around my heart. Cold hands feeling about on my chest. Neither of us could say anything. Tomitake-san opened the lock, and he died, Takano-san exposed the ritual storehouse, and she died. If 2 more people were to be sacrificed, then they would be none other than the ones who entered with them, none other than us. No, this has got to be a joke. I wanted so much for her to pass this off as a joke, even now. That, though, was such an incredibly difficult and selfish request. If Tomitake-san and Takano-san had died in a common way, like a car accident, I could tell myself it was coincidence. Instead, he clawed out his own throat, and she burned to death, drowned in oil in the mountains. So, last episode, did Tomitake and Takano also go into the storehouse? Was Shion at the Watanagashi? Like, how much changes? It's interesting. We are only on, you know, the second episode, so like, we don't have enough data, I guess, to be able to like pick out a trend. Man, I love this. I love this so much. It's so good. Yeah. In an oil, drowned in oil and burned. For it to be in the mountains. Yeah, we need it. I need more information, just in general, and I'm sure we will get that. I don't know how far away Gifu is. Yeah. The 2 deaths were so out of the ordinary that I couldn't possibly dismiss it as mere coincidence. It was as if, in exchange for sneaking into the ritual storehouse, there must be someone punishing us, some sort of cruel will working behind the scenes. Even so, I didn't want to accept that terrifying truth. If I did, then I would have to acknowledge that a horrible crisis was growing near for Shion and I. That's why I argued against it. I argued knowing I was running away. In the first place, it's not even in the newspaper, is it? Such a monstrous incident would be all over the newspapers and television. Magazine writers would flood the village too, thinking it'd make for an interesting story. Of course it's not getting reported by the media. That's how it was in the past too. When the incidents occurred for the 3rd year in a row, there were some third-rate magazines that sniffed out the story and ran issues full of gossip columns about Hinamizawa. Fearing that the region would develop a negative stigma, they negotiated with the prefecture and the police. Since last year, it became a big conspiracy where no information about the incidents was allowed to be leaked to the media. I hear the elders in the top brass? I don't say that word out loud. From the Sonozaki family put all the pressure they could on the police. Then you mean their deaths gonna be dealt with in total secrecy? That's how it is. Of course the police are investigating it. That's being performed in secret too, though, so I hear the investigation itself is very restricted in what it can and can't do. You could essentially say they're interfering with a police investigation. Okay, I didn't comprehend a single thing she said. Okay, no, I did. Okay. So, elders and shit from the Sonozaki family putting pressure on the police, so people can't report on it. Police are investigating it in secret, and the investigation is restricted as well. Okay, I comprehend what she said. This story was unbelievable. People died, and yet they don't publicize it and deal with everything in secret. If we break it down further, it means that no matter who dies on the night of Watanagashi, it won't go public. That's the biggest pile of bullshit I've ever heard. Kei-chan, before, I said how the villagers could be the ones carrying out Oyashiro-sama's curse. That's what I mean. At some point a tradition was created here in Hinamizawa, where every year you're allowed to kill someone in the night of the Watanagashi under the guise of it being Oyashiro-sama's curse. But that's only been like, what, like 4 or 5 times? It's like, is it the same person doing it all throughout, or is it different people taking advantage of the like conditions created by this tradition? Or is it a coincidence? I don't think it's a coincidence. I think that would be pretty weak. I don't think that's the case. When someone dies on the night of watanagashi, it turns into the curse of Oyashiro-sama. The curse turns into the serial murder incidents. In order to avoid exacerbating the negative stigma surrounding Hinamizawa, those incidents are dealt with in secret. That's insane! Dead and missing people turn up every year. However bad the stigma gets, the police have to draw the line somewhere, don't they? You could say the incidents happening every year is mysterious, but the police can get the job done when they need to. After all, the incidents always get resolved individually. It doesn't end up being a string of incidents, you know? It just so happens that something unfortunate happens on the night of watanagashi every year. That's all it turns into. Most of the criminals responsible for the original dismemberment were arrested. The last one managed to get and stay away, but the events were totally exposed and elucidated, so it was in essence resolved. But yeah, the dismemberment, one person died, one person's gone missing. The damn supporting couple who died in an accident on the second year, that was an accidental death, plain and simple. They made a lot of investigations into the possibility of it having been a homicide, but they didn't turn up anything. It ended up as an accident. It was resolved. On the third year, the priest fell ill and passed away. I mean, I don't know how that can be a homicide. There were doctors present at the hospital at his deathbed, and they all had trustworthy medical certificates. Okay, yeah, that's like... How would you fake that? They even did an autopsy. It concluded that it wasn't a homicide, unless there's like some serious corruption, like even in like the medical field. But I don't know. I mean, it also depends how much the cops are like covering up as well. I don't think we're being given like completely, like entirely bullshit like information though. I think that there is something to all of this. It concluded that it wasn't a homicide. That was resolved too. On the fourth year, the sister-in-law of the damn supporting couple was murdered. The criminal was an abnormal man with a history of regular psychostimulant usage. He confessed that he thought Oyashiro-sama's curse was so interesting he wanted to try it out. The criminal died of an accident while in prison, so this incident was essentially resolved as well. Huh. So that someone actually... Does this mean he confessed to murdering someone? That was actually... That's right. None of the incidents had any relation to another, and each was independently resolved. Yeah, it's so interesting! So then why does an unfortunate coincidence occur every year on the night of watanagashi? You can try and say it's a string of related incidents, but they're not related. Yet every year someone always dies, and someone always disappears. The story Takano-san told me on the day before, during the setup, now that the curse really had occurred this year, I couldn't just laugh it off. Then, does that mean it'll come for us too? Just like how one person dies and one disappears every year. Are you saying we'll be taken along with Tomitake-san and Takano-san and erased too? My lips had at some point become completely dry, and just saying that was difficult. Shion didn't respond. Her silence, however, was the clearest form of confirmation she could give me. Sure, we went somewhere we shouldn't have, but we were just looking, right? We didn't steal anything or take anything out, and we didn't tell anyone that we looked, right? I was already regretting having committed such a wrong. Even so, was it really so bad that Tomitake-san and Takano-san deserved such cruel deaths? Besides, I didn't care about anything I saw in there at all. Takano-san was the only one getting so happy over it, wasn't she? Takano-san was the only one at fault. I don't have anything to do with this. I'm not interested, I'm not involved, I don't give a shit about what was in there. And you saying so wouldn't solve anything. I could feel myself, my cold self in the innermost depths of my heart, disgusted at my pointless howling. However, my emotions had broken through the dam, and I couldn't stop them anymore. I didn't have any interest in any of this from the start, damn it. All I wanted to do was watch Rika-chan's performance. You were the one who pulled me away from that, weren't you, Shion? I don't give a rat's ass whether those two were trying to steal something or try to meet up secretly or whatever. That's right, you're the one who made me go in there in the first place, Shion. You were okay-chan, you needed to see what's inside, and you convinced me and then pulled me in. Why the hell did you do that? I didn't have anything to do with this. What will you do? What are you gonna do, damn it? How are you gonna take responsibility for this, huh? Hey, are you listening? Ugh. Click. Without any warning, the phone cut off with the soft sound of a receiver being slammed down. Ian was just as terrified as I was. I just said some really self-centered things. Oh god. Oh. I'm just like imagining Shion. Like, she's equally as terrified. And Keiichi lashes out at her and blames her for everything. She's gotta be so scared. You know, she's a bitch, but like, she's still a kid. Almost choked on my tea. Crisis averted. God, Keiichi is... he gets real emotional. Like when he kicked over the bikes, and, you know, now. My riled up emotions disappeared as if they'd never existed, and in their place surged waves of deep regret at having run my mouth so irresponsibly. I could try to call out Shion's name from beyond the disconnected phone, but it was too late. What have I done? Chun was only trying to tell me as much as she could about this thing about to descend upon us. As for me, I could only whine like a child about it. I went to call her back, but then remembered she lived in Okinomiya. I didn't know her phone number. Since I declared to Mion that I hadn't seen Shion last night, I couldn't just call Mion and ask her for Shion's phone number. I was too scared. I couldn't even call her back. I was stricken with hopeless regret. I returned the receiver to its stand, and I simply prayed that Shion would call me back again. Please, Shion, calm down and call me again. Ring, 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 ring. Hello, this is Mayabara. I swept out the receiver as though it wouldn't go through if I didn't grab it at that exact moment. Is this the Mayabara residence? Excuse me for the late call, I've got a bad feeling. Oh, I'm Kimiyoshi. I was like, oh my god, is it gonna be Oishi? Is this the head of the household? Was the voice of a girl? Who clearly wasn't Shion. I assumed this was gonna be a cop. All my hopes rushed out of me. No, it isn't. If you need Dad, I'll go call him. I went to put the receiver back down, but the caller stopped me hurriedly. Oh, no, if he's busy, then it's fine. So, wait. Voice of a girl who clearly wasn't Shion. If he's busy, then it's fine. This may be a strange question, but is my old man paying you a visit? No, nobody's here at the moment. I see. Again, I apologize for calling you so late at night. Goodbye. Black. I don't know who that was, but what if Shion tried to call me while I was on the phone, I thought, bubbling with egotistic anger. Hey, wait. Give it a break, Keiichi Maibara. These are the selfish emotions that made Shion mad at me, aren't they? The more I thought about it, the more I thought that Shion had given up hope in the short time since we had our conversation and didn't want to call anymore. Calm yourself, Keiichi Maibara. If Shion does call again, then first, apologize in a calm voice. If you do that, then Shion should understand. However, no matter how long I waited, the phone didn't ring again that night. So, Kimiyoshi, was it? Asked if her old man had shown up. Ooh, need tips. Ooh. Let's check it. from the scrapbook, whatever number that is. I'm sorry. Roman numerals, can't do them. The significance of watanagashi. So I think this, yeah, this I assume is still from Takono's scrapbook. Watanagashi, a festival of hunting for sacrifices and feasting on them. While the festival itself is remarkable, it has come to be considered a form of entertainment as well. Perhaps it was because of the disparity between being both an egregious act and a form of entertainment that the perpetrators began to believe themselves transcendent. However, I found some very interesting literature that appears to raise questions about that explanation. As with most oral traditions, it's not easily swallowed, but it does mention a few things that spark my interest. According to this literature, even the residents of Onigafuchi village felt fear towards this ritual. Women and children would grow pale and tremble, and those of weak constitution would vomit, but it's said that the feast, the dissection, was an obligatory viewing. This is an extremely curious tale. Until now, I thought that the residents of Onigafuchi village were fascinated by the watanagashi ritual. They looked down on those vulgar barbaric humans, cut them open like fish, and by eating them, they reaffirmed their own holiness. At least, that's what I thought. However, if what the villagers gained from this ritual was not fascination, but fear, then that would suggest the ritual meant something entirely different. There's the possibility that executions were meant as warnings, encouraging the villagers to strictly follow religious precepts created by those with power for their own convenience. Onigafuchi village has been effectively ruled over by 3 old families, called the Three Families. Without investigating the 3 families, I probably won't get any closer to the truth of Onigafuchi village. Yeah, I mean, like, it could be a show of power to keep everyone in line. It could be a necessity, like they don't have the food. But June... isn't it like summer? I don't know much about farming. I don't know. Because I'd think that if they were having a really hard time with food, it would be like in the middle of winter. Another scrapbook. Let's see. The Three Families. The Three Families refers to the 3 old families who effectively came to rule Onigafuchi village. To break it down, there was the Kimiyoshi family, the Furude family, and the Sonozaki family, and each of them still exists today. So we just interacted with a girl from the Kimiyoshi family. Old man, I would assume, means like her father. Though they don't have as much control as they did in the remote past, they still hold considerable influence today. The 3 families are considered by legend to be those in whom the blood of the swamp demons runs the thickest. Oh yeah, also from last stream, apparently the Sonozaki family is like Yakuza? Apparently? According to Oishi? I don't know. The Kimiyoshi family. The Kimiyoshi family appears to have held great power as the head of the 3 families, but it doesn't have that kind of leadership today. The current mayor of the village, Kiichiro Kimiyoshi, is from this family. That could be who she's looking for. The fact that members of the Kimiyoshi family are elected as mayor every generation is thought to be a remnant of the old system. Of course, as no rival candidates appear, it doesn't change the fact that the Kimiyoshi family holds the mayoral office even through popular elections in the post-war era. The Furude family. The center of the village's faith since ancient times, the Furude clan has guarded the sole shrine dedicated to Oyashiro-sama. They were worshipped as the only people to represent the voice of Oyashiro-sama for a long time, but the family branched off after the war and lost most of its power. It now consists of only the main house. The main house as well presently consists of only one daughter, Rika Furude, so the lineage may end in this generation. There is apparently an old tradition of honoring females of the Furude family, but only the daughter, Rika, is the subject of much respect among the elderly of the village. Right, okay. The Sonozaki family. It said that this family had a certain police-like role of protecting the religious precepts of Onigafuchi village. Precepts, am I saying that right? It's a general rule intended to regulate behavior or thought.
Precept.
Yeah, I'm saying it right. Of the 3 families, their relatively weak position can be seen from me putting them here last. Of course, today the Sonozaki family is flourishing, and the state of affairs among the three families has completely reversed. Even now, one could say that they are in control of Hinamizawa. The three families conferring with each other is similar to the old way. The current head of the Sonozaki family, Oryo, essentially decides all of the goings-on in the village by herself. It's interesting that the Sonozaki family seems to be led by women. Cause like, isn't, Mion, like, set to be the next, like, head of the family? And I think she, like, lives with her grandma. Okay, late night phone call. Excuse me for the late call. I'm Kimiyoshi. Is this the head of the household? Yes. No, not at all. Thank you very much for that. Yes, well, you see, I do apologize for calling at this hour, but I was wondering if our old man was paying you a visit at the moment. You've got that right. Yes, once again. I'm very sorry for calling so late. Goodbye. Click. So, no good? I'm not sure what to do. He may be passionate about it, but he always at least gives us a call. You called everyone he plays Go with, didn't you? Ring. Hello, this is Kimiyoshi. This is Sonozaki. How'd it go? Have you found the mayor? Man, my throat's hurting. Oh, Mion-chan. I called everyone I could think of, but I came up with nothing. We can't find him. What do I do? Where could he be idling about? I put a word in with a bunch of people who might have had an idea, but nobody did. I asked Nana about it, and she said we should get the men of the village together to search for him. At this hour? I mean, it's not like he's definitely gone missing. Watanagashi just happened. She thinks we should be a little more cautious. If we still can't find him, then we'll notify the police tomorrow morning. Whether or not we find him, though, we should refrain from making any false accusations. Oryo-san said that? Yes. If you can't trust her without hearing her voice, then I can put her on for you. No, that's fine. I understand. We'll get the men together and search. If we still can't find him, then we will notify the police in the morning. She'll leave it to you to organize the men. I'll be there as well as Nana's representative. Thank you. I'll get everyone together immediately. Thanks. Talk to you later. Interesting. So it seems like the mayor is missing? Too much to think about. There's no way I'd be able to sleep. Okay, I think I'm gonna take a quick break. I'm gonna make myself some tea. Like a 5-minute break. Let me put that up, and then we'll get back to it. Hopefully my throat will be okay. It's not too bad, but I can feel it starting to hurt. Alright, I will return shortly. I return. Return of Waz. I got tea. It's I haven't had this one before. It's strawberry, raspberry, and loganberry. Oh. Pink blanket! Wow, could it be? Oh, wow, what an honor. Well, thank you, I am doing well. I hope you're well as well. But for asking a question, you're gonna be timed out. There you go. It's great to see ya. Alright. Okay, there's no way I'd be able to sleep. When she hung up the phone like that, I realized for the first time what kind of situation I was in, as well as who the only ally who would support me was. I waited with bated breath for Shion to calm down and call me back. What would I do if the phone rang while I was sound asleep? No matter how long I waited, however, it never rang. Exhausted, whenever my mind started to wander, I would jolt awake as though I heard the phone ring. In the end, I brought the cordless phone with me into my futon and went to sleep with it in my arms. Though it still didn't amount to anything. Morning came, and by that time I was pretty sure she wasn't calling back. That was when a fierce drowsiness assailed me. Damn it. There's no time for sleep, Keiichi Mayabara. I slapped myself in the face a few times. Pow, pow, pow. I hit the mic. I was doing a slapping motion across my face. I do so much stuff like with my hands when I'm streaming, but you can't see it. One day perhaps I'll get like hand tracking. I would get good use out of it, I think. Then I went to the washroom and washed my face, which was something I didn't usually do. That wasn't enough either, so I even brushed my teeth. That's crazy. He even brushed his teeth? That's too far. After that, I was finally wide awake. When Mom saw how strange I was acting, her eyes went wide. What's wrong, Keiichi? Are you going somewhere today? Yeah, to school. Okay.
Keiichi-kun, you don't look so good today. Do you have a cold?
I'm not sick, I just didn't get much sleep. If I space out and start talking nonsense, just humor me.
I wonder what kind of nonsense you'll say. I wonder. Now I'm looking forward to it. How?
I felt utterly shattered, and I still hadn't picked myself back up this morning, and for precisely that reason, Rena's honest smile was a sight for sore eyes. Yo. What's up, Kate-chan? Rena? Good morning.
What? Mi-chan, you look like you didn't get much sleep either.
Mion had gone home early yesterday with a hangover, but she didn't look too good this morning either. Her usual cheerfulness was completely buried in shadow. Yeah. I went to bed at like 3. I'm a little tired. 3? Right after yesterday? Hey now. You can't keep staying up late. You probably read the first volume of a manga, thought it was interesting, then read the entire series, didn't you? I understand. I've done that before. I joked, trying to shake off my sleepiness. I was trying to be considerate. However, neither Mion nor Rena smiled. In fact, they didn't even pay attention. Rena's expression immediately darkened.
What? Wait, is it about the mayor? He still hasn't been found?
Nope. Hey, wait a minute. What are you talking about? You can't find the mayor? Even the classroom, which was normally bursting with bright, joking voices, seemed filled with a different sort of murmur today.
Good morning, Keiichi-san. Have you heard? It looks like something terrible has happened.
I don't really know this mayor person, but he's an old guy, right? Couldn't he just be wandering around, senile?
The mayor is certainly not senile. He's a sprightly man who can teach both calligraphy and swordsmanship. He probably got lost somewhere, like me. I lost Rika. I want to take you home with me.
Getting lost is only cute because children like Rika-chan do it. A worn-out old man getting lost isn't moe in the slightest. When my mind entertained dumb thoughts like that, our teacher arrived. Everyone rushed to their seats. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. The class greeting was normal, but the atmosphere in the room was heavy. Some of you may have already heard, but last night, despite the late hour, the mayor never came home. Is there anyone here who saw the mayor yesterday? One or two hands went up in the silence, and they told her about having seen him. None of it seemed to be vital information, however, and everyone began whispering amongst themselves. Okay, so the mayor last night, which is the night after the watanagashi, he didn't come home. So he didn't go missing, like, at the watanagashi. It was after. I mean, usually I would think that there would be the one person dead, one person missing kind of thing. That would happen on the watanagashi. Like, can they play catch up? Can they be like, oops, I'm a little bit late, but now someone's gone missing? If anyone has seen the mayor, please tell an adult about it, alright? Now then, let's begin class. At that, same old lessons began. The rumors, once quieted, blossomed in flowers again at lunchtime. I could hear a few different conversations. They were mostly related to the mayor's disappearance. Summing them all up, I came out with this. Yesterday evening, the mayor went to a meeting at the Shrine's Assembly Hall. The meeting ended after the sun had fully set and everyone left. The elder's house was a bit far from the center of Hinamizawa. It was already late and Hinamizawa doesn't have a lot of lights outside. Nobody saw the mayor after the meeting. However, because he would have been hungry, he wouldn't have taken any side trips. He would have gone straight home. However, no matter how long his family waited, he never returned. Some thought there might have been an accident. They left no stone unturned. They searched from the irrigation channels to the water wells and even in the rice paddies, but they didn't find him. Of course, there was a limit to how far they could search in the middle of night. The police were going to wait for daylight, then have the young men of the town help search. If after all that they still didn't find him, they were apparently even going to go looking in the mountains. Even now at this moment, the adults were probably all searching for him. The more they searched in vain, and the more time passed, the only thing that came to mind was the curse. The rumors of Onikakushi, of the demoning away. Had he become this year's sacrifice to Oyashiro-sama's curse, which had recently been occurring every year? That scary possibility, which everybody thought about but nobody could say aloud, was slowly but surely spreading throughout the village. Was he demoned away, and offered as a sacrifice to swell Oyashiro-sama's anger? My classmates were whispering to each other that the curse didn't happen this year, so there shouldn't have been any sacrifices. They don't know that 2 people died. I, on the other hand, knew. The curse did happen again this year, and there were 2 people that died. This may sound strange, but I hadn't exactly thought the elder would be the one to go missing. My reason was clear. Shion and I should have been a higher priority than him. The 4 of us were thieves that broke the taboo and set foot into the sacred ritual storehouse. Hasn't it been in the past, it's been people who have, like, supported the dam? They've all kind of been related to that kind of thing. I don't remember exactly with the case of the priest and the priest's wife. If they were, like, If Tomitake-san and Takano-san had suffered mysterious deaths, then it should have been Mai and Shion's turn next. This time should have been Shion and me, eh? I laughed painfully to myself. I'd yelled at Shion over the phone that I didn't want to end up in such a terrifying situation, but now that someone other than me had disappeared, I could only think that I should have been the first to go. Onikafuchi, the bottomless swamp, said to have been the place where they drowned sacrifices long ago. Just as it ran through my thoughts, the villagers must have also considered the swamp. Maybe police divers were plumbing its depths even now. They probably wouldn't find anyone. Not a single missing person had ever been found. They'd always suspected Onikafuchi, but not once have they ever turned up a corpse from it. After all, it was a devilish, bottomless swamp from which no one who sinks can ever return. I could hear someone telling their friend that in the classroom. Okay, so the body that was burned, Mio Takano, in the mountains, that was meant to be found. If they didn't want it to be found, they would have just thrown her in the swamp. Unless the swamp isn't really that bottomless, and that's more just like myth, I guess. So like, that body being found is sending a message, but why out in the mountains? Where it might not have even been found. There's better ways to send that message. Okay, here's someone telling their friend that in the classroom. Now that you mention it, Satoshi-san, he left around this time last year, didn't he? Whoa, Seraph! Thank you, 9 months, wow! Was Higurashi when they rah! Rah! So true. I'm gonna try my tea now, see if it's still hot. It's still hot, I don't even need to drink it. I can just feel it. Thanks for dropping by, I really appreciate it. Thank you for the sub. So Satoshi-san, that's, yeah. With none in between. Yup, exactly. Certainly. Huh? Satoshi? I've heard that name before. He was right. He disappeared because of last year's curse. The conversation was happening in the seat next to me, so I could hear it clearly. Didn't we search the whole village like this for Satoshi-san too? So he disappeared after the watanagashi? We didn't find him either. What did we decide that was? A demeaning away, right? Yeah. I heard he withdrew all his savings and ran away from home. Someone from the police station said there was, someone who saw him get on the bullet train at Nagoya Station. Ran away, huh? I wasn't that interested in the reason, which seemed understandable in this case. Everyone else who disappeared had their own reasons too. Either they were still on the run because they were criminals, or they were a corpse that couldn't be found. It's not like any of them suddenly disappeared into thin air for no reason, but they disappeared. Someone disappeared whenever the curse took a life, as if by design. They may have had various understandable reasons, but they still disappeared. From that point of view, it really might have been a demoning away this time. The mayor's disappearance was the first such incident without a clear reason behind it. Of course, coming to that realization didn't help to resolve anything.
It looks like I messed up the seasoning today. Sorry.
Normally, Rena's lunch would have been devoured immediately, but today there was still a ton left. That wasn't because Rena's lunch didn't taste good or anything, though.
That isn't the case. Your lunch today is delicious as always.
Satoko dips her chopsticks into Rena's bento box and pulls bits of food out, one after the other.
Yes, delicious indeed. Today in particular, in fact. Chomp chomp. Huh? You know those are pumpkin croquettes, right? Are you okay? Yes.
If it's your pumpkin, then it's delicious. She doesn't like pumpkin? How can you not like pumpkin? Did Satoko dislike pumpkin? How can you? Pumpkin's so good! Regardless, she forced herself to smile and shoved more into her mouth. That's really considerate of her. Everyone knew. Nobody's lunch tasted very good today. Satoko kept shoveling it down, repeating her remark on how good it was. She's trying to cheer Rena up. If it's that good, then I guess I've got to have some too. Satoko's gonna eat it all if we let her.
It's just so good, so I would certainly like it if Keiji-san were to eat some as well.
You hate pumpkin? Wow. That's crazy. You know, it's crazy how people have different tastes, like different things. That's crazy to think about. Wow, dude, that's so deep. Well, sometimes I have to show my adult generosity, right? Okay, don't hold back on my account. Eat enough for the both of us today. She really, really hated pumpkin, didn't she? Yeah. No, that's like, do we actually taste? I mean, there are like with certain foods. What is it? Is it like cilantro or something? Where like for some people it tastes like soap. Like if you have a certain gene, I have that gene. Yeah, memories connected to our taste. Yeah. Well, it's like like I can think of one food in particular for me with this. It's a specific like brand of canned tuna, and it's like sandwich tuna, so it's like got some like it's like a bit oily. And one day like I ate a whole bunch of it because I was like, this is so yummy, but I ate so much that I felt sick, and now like I can't stomach it anymore because it just makes me feel sick. That made it all the more touching to see Satoko's own brand of generosity. I grabbed her head and started stroking it. Satoko, in a somewhat exaggerated fashion, was bawling, tears streaming down her face. No way. You'll never grow up if you give away such good food. Rena, you eat too. I only have leftover vegetable stew, but it tastes great after having sat overnight.
Yeah, the daikon radish has such a pretty color going through it. It looks delicious. I guess I'll have some then.
Rena reached out with her chopsticks, and at last, the usual lunchtime atmosphere began to return. It was only at our desks, however. The dark tales of Oyashiro-sama's curse, which had recurred for 5 years in a row, didn't cease. The whole classroom remained stuck in this somber mood. Oyashiro-sama's curse had happened for 5 years straight. Everyone had wanted the previous year to be the last. What was Oyashiro-sama's curse anyway? They were going to build a dam in Hinamizawa. The people building it were bad. So they were cursed. I used to love cherry tomatoes as a kid because they were so crisp like grapes until I ate a squishy one and threw up and didn't eat tomatoes again for like 10 years. Even now though. Yeah, no, yeah, I can't like eat like melted cheese. I think I mentioned this like on yesterday's stream. I can't eat melted cheese because I like the texture of it. If like you chew on it for a little bit too long and it gets all chewy and then it's like, oh my god, I can't swallow this. Like this is gross. Like I've had a few times where that's happened, and so I'm just like, I can't do it. I can't do it. Love cheese normally though. I would admit that much. Still, the dam project was frozen years ago, wasn't it? So why was the curse stubbornly persisting? I hit myself on the cheeks to perk myself back up. Everyone was trying so hard to brighten the mood. I couldn't go straight back to thinking about the curse like that. Yeah, I do like I enjoy some varieties of cheese. I don't like super strong cheese or like blue cheese. Like I don't like strong goat cheese, but like I like brie and stuff. Some hard cheeses too. Cheese. Everyone was trying so hard to brighten the mood. I couldn't go straight back to thinking about the curse like that. I forced the grim story out of my head. Driving Oyashiro-sama's curse out of my thoughts was actually a good idea. In the end, that meant I would also be driving away the most terrifying thought of all, that I could be the curse's next target. Mihon's taking a while, isn't she? How long does it take to wash your hands? I feel like I want to open up my notes doc from when I first played. When I do get around to like stuff I haven't played before, I am going to start taking notes after streams again. Well, not again, I haven't done that before. So the housewife murder wasn't reported in the newspaper. Yeah, so Satoshi is Satoko's brother, 1 year older than Keiichi. And he used to sit in Keiichi's seat. Yeah, okay. Mion's taking a while, isn't she? How long does it take to wash your hands? Mion had said she was going to wash her hands and left, and she hadn't come back yet. Oh, yes. Yes, yes.
She's probably taking a little afternoon nap somewhere. I think she was up pretty late last night looking for the mayor after all.
I smiled wryly and let out a sigh. Day was no good. However much we tried to lighten the mood, things always came back to the mayor. It was just a no good day. I had just transferred here recently, so the shock of a curse happening 5 years running was an unimaginably big one. Maybe I do need to appreciate that.
When Mii-chan was really little, the mayor would always spoil her. When she was going through her prankster phase, he loved her like his own daughter. He's told me that often.
I see. Mion was in shock too. Someone disappearing at all because of a curse was a very scary thing. If the sacrifice was someone you knew though, then the shock must be 100 times worse. Satoko, as if she'd come to the same conclusion, bit her lower lip and looked downward. Oh, Rika-chan is taking a while too. So, Satoko, there was the Hojo couple's falling incident. That was Satoko's parents, I think. Right? I don't know if I'm assuming that. You know what? I'm gonna pull out my thinking zone. I've got it somewhere. Where is it? Did I move it into my file folder? Nope, here it is. I'm not gonna show it on stream, but this is I took notes when we were going through the first chapter. About the like curse previous years and stuff. So the Hojo couple falling incident, that was the second year. So that was the dam project, and then the second year, man who lived in Hinamizawa but supported the dam fell off a cliff into some rapids and died while on vacation. His wife is missing. In Shirakawa Prefecture, I think that's what I wrote. Hence body was discovered that evening. Search was difficult due to Typhoon 3 the previous day. I don't think we know that that's her parents, but Hojo couple, that means to me, it's probably like mum and dad, or like parent and partner, or aunt and uncle or something. And then year 3, there was the priest who died on the night of the watanagashi due to illness, and the wife drowned herself in the bog, left a note saying something like, "My death will quell Oyashiro-sama's anger." So the priest passed away when his condition worsened. He was very anxious leading up to the festival. His wife went missing, leaving behind a farewell note. And the 4th year, on Watanagashi, the discovered dead body of a local housewife or family was that of the young brother of the dam supporter who fell to his death. So her family was that of the... Okay, so the younger brother of the dam supporter who fell to his death. So that would be, I would think... Okay, I'm gonna assume that the Hojo couple is Satoko's parents. Satoko and Satoshi's parents. The younger brother would be the father. No. The younger brother is the brother of the father, so that would be their uncle. Discovered battered body of local housewife or family was that of the young brother of the dam supporter who fell to his death. The younger brother is still alive, but moved to a neighboring town. I don't know if her family being that of the younger brother of the dam supporter who fell to his death. I don't know why they wouldn't. If she was like a sibling, they would probably just say she was like the sister of the damn supporter who fell to his death. So I think that implies she married into the family, or she's like a half sibling. So the younger brother is still alive but moved to a neighboring town, and it wasn't reported in the newspaper. Shion said, was it Shion said? Someone said just before that they found the guy who did it, and he confessed shit. I'm gonna have to go back over this stream and take some notes because I think we've got a lot of really important information being revealed. I'm doing a lot of thinking this stream. I'm looking at the notes I took for last episode, Tomitake's death and Mio Takuno's death. Well, missing, sorry. Not death. She resides in Okinomiya. She's single. I mean, I don't know how much is the same this time around as last time. Like, is it the same setup? Like, everything starts the same, but then, you know, different things happen. Like, you know, Keiichi going to Angel Moor and meeting Mion as Shion. Like, is that what triggers things to be different? Or is it, like, a completely different setup before, like, you know, the game even starts? Like, maybe in the last episode, Mion didn't even have a sister. Like, I don't know how much, you know. Yeah, very interesting. I really like picking apart these mysteries. Alright, let's get back to it. Oh, Rika-chan is taking a while too. Maybe they're taking a nice afternoon nap together? So, Satoko doesn't have family here, I guess.
Rika wasn't out that late. As soon as she yawned, everyone gathered around her and started saying good night, good night.
Now that she mentioned it, there were a lot of old people rubbing their prayer beads in fervent gratitude towards Rika-chan during the festival too. An image of the indulgent elderly came to mind. Had Rika-chan discovered a way to get herself to be pampered like that? Is there a reason the old people treat Rika-chan like an idol? It's because it's a tradition to respect the females of the Furide family. Is she the ideal image of a granddaughter or something?
I don't know anything about that.
Stop with the music. Why is this music?
But I want to see Rika-chan yawning. It's probably all like, I want to take her home. I don't personally think it's that cute. It's more of a wah, and she opens her mouth really wide so you can see the back of her throat. Rika-chan's giant yawn.
Rena's handy at times like these. I finally managed a heartfelt laugh. Oh, right. I'm on day duty today, aren't I? I need to go water the flower garden. The garden is right outside the teacher's lounge too, so they can immediately tell if you don't do it right.
I think Satoko-chan is cute. Not only Rika-chan, giant yawn. Can't breathe. How? Her lips are so cute. Satoko-chan is cute too. I'm gonna take you home.
Rena was strangling Satoko, and I don't think that counts as yawning. You know, Rena is... I can't say it out loud, but she's a notorious censored, isn't she? Sweat. Hearing Satoko make a weird noise like a chicken being strangled was kind of hilarious, and I couldn't help but laugh. I'm picturing her as one of those, like, chicken toys that make that awful noise. Like the ones that you squeeze. At some point, the classroom had erupted into laughter too. Maybe Rena was doing it on purpose. Even if she wasn't, this nonsense was a welcome sight. Everyone's laughing at Satoko getting choked. Anyway, let's go over to the flowers while I still have time. Slowly and quietly, lest I destroy the room's newfound peace, I left the classroom. The watering can was hanging up outside the kitchen. This building had originally been an all-male forestry service building, so there was apparently nothing so thoughtful as a garden here before. When they decided to have a school share the space, they built one there as a modest gesture of appreciation. But, well, the flower bed, it was a little longer than you'd expect. It went all around. It went all over the place. It was so big one would need to refill the watering can 5 or 6 times to get it all done. I was doing this together with a kid who was also, thankfully, on day duty today. She was in the lowest grade though, and a full size smaller than even Rika-chan. I could make a kid who would struggle just to lift the full watering can help me with this. If you were placed on day duty with someone who liked this sort of thing, they'd do it all for you, so it'd be cake. No point in blaming her. I give up. I'll just get started. Watering can in hand, just as I was about to leave the building, the old man from the forestry office addressed me. Sonny, there's a vegetable garden behind the warehouse, right? It's all just about dried up. Water that too, would you? Oh, you mean that curry vegetable garden? The one with the potatoes and carrots and other things that are only ingredients for curry? It's definitely the personal garden of our curry-loving teacher, but making students responsible for its upkeep is getting them involved in her personal affairs. I couldn't say that to his face though, so I gave up and decided to carry out my day duties. The sunlight out front was strong. The great chorus of cicadas was strongly underlining how nothing was different today than yesterday. I passed by the classroom, and I don't know what happened, but Rena and Satoko were in the middle of a huge melee. While I was gone, the kids had arranged all the desks in a circle, forming a ring while everyone was cheering them on. Yeah, that's how it should be. You know, in primary school, I was in a class where we had like a pretty strict teacher. And whenever he would leave the room, for like whatever reason, all the kids in the class would just like go crazy. It would be so loud. There would be times like they would stand on desks and shit and like just really misbehave, and then like when he was like coming back, everyone would rush to get back in their seats. But I remember one time, the teacher left the classroom, but he kind of hung around. But no one realized it. I could see him because I was that kid who like I wouldn't do anything like naughty. I didn't want to get in trouble. But I could see him like watching out the window as all these kids started getting all rowdy, and then he came back in and yelled at the whole class. It was pretty scary. Good times. It was like holy shit. When school ended, we would need to return to reality, where talk of the elder's disappearance would once again be all over the place. I wanted everyone to forget about everything and have fun, just like yesterday, if only while they were at school. In that sense, Satoko's whirling elbow and Rena's backwards flying spin kick made for a pleasant sight, even if, as a result, they flipped over my desk. That's my pencil box. Ugh, I'll just let it happen today. I set to work hastily watering everything, wanting nothing more than to be done as soon as possible. That should about do it. No sooner I thought that, than I remembered that I had to water the teacher's curry vegetable garden too. That was a difficult sentence. That's such a pain, but I have a feeling that it'll come back to bite me if I don't. I gave up, filled the can with water again, and headed behind the warehouse. This was a place students didn't like to go. It was always damp here, and you couldn't discard the possibility of slugs and pill bugs being around. When I ran across her in a place like that, I was surprised. Whoa! Oh, it's Rika-chan. Don't scare me like that. Rika-chan was just standing there like a puppet, devoid of life. I was the only one who was startled here. Rika-chan didn't even seem to react to my appearance. Rika-chan? Finally, she noticed me. Her expression was clearly abnormal. I don't like it when she does this expression, it's really off-putting. It's... There was red under her eyes, stained with tears and dirt. Baby! No! Oh, there were blades of grass stuck in her hair too, and her clothes looked as though she'd fallen to the ground. Rika-chan? Are you hurt? Did you fall? No, that isn't it. Rika-chan said in the brightest voice she could manage as she rubbed her eyes. She didn't look anywhere near normal though. Oh my god. What happened? You weren't sleeping on the storehouse roof and then fell off or anything, did you?
Don't worry about me. I have something I want to ask you, Keiichi.
Oh god. Is she gonna ask the same thing that Mion and Oishi did? Rika-chan looked over and clung to me. Oh my god, this is 3 days in a row now. Wow. 3 days in a row I've had bots, that's crazy. At first I thought she was playing a trick on me. Eventually, however, I realized it was so that I wouldn't run from the question she was about to ask. I shuddered. What do you want from me? She looked straight into my eyes. Her upturned eyes bored right into me. It was as though they were trying to pull the answer out of my own eyes without actually asking me the question. It was scary, so I averted my eyes from hers.
Keiichi, did you do something bad on the night of the festival?
My body gave a jolt from its very core. Rika-chan, who was clinging to me, might have felt my shiver. A nervous tingle crawled up from my feet, and after going up my back and freezing my entire body, it made its way into my brain.
Keiichi, do you really not remember?
My head began to throb. I don't understand anything. Mion asked me. Loud noise. Very pleasant noise, Oishi-san asked me. Shion asked me, and now Rika-chan was asking me. We thought nobody knew about what we did last night, but in fact everyone knew. They all knew, and they came to ask me again and again, until I admitted it. When I thought about it, it was pretty clear the whole thing was out in the open. After all, don't Tomitake-san and Takano-san's deaths prove it?
Keiichi?
How should I respond? We never should have entered the Forbidden Storehouse, and even though I regretted it so much, was she saying it wasn't enough? However, I had all but decided what I was going to say. I'm not exactly a good kid, you know? I've done lots of bad things, so I can't remember anything specific. Just as I had with all the others, I evaded the question. Rika-chan stared up at me with innocent eyes. Her eyes were so painful that I had to look away. After a few moments of mutual silence, Rika-chan released me.
I'm sorry for asking you something strange. Please forget about it,
she said, smiling her usual smile. Then, tap 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 tap, she went running off, as if nothing had happened. As she retreated in silence, I could feel her accusing me. But, Rika-chan. If she didn't hear my voice, then I was going to give up. However, she heard it. Rika-chan swiveled around and waited for me to continue. I was the one who had questions now. Still, asking any of them could just be a half-assed way of admitting what I did. Hey, Rika-chan.
What is it?
If everyone knows anyway, then I should be able to at least ask this, right? Why is everyone asking me about the night of the festival? That evening, had I done something that wrong? I felt plenty sorry about it, and I only looked anyway. I didn't break anything or steal anything, really. Still, Tomitake-san and Takano-san, they died so miserably. Since those two had come to such an end, there's obviously no way it would forgive only me. Rika-chan cutely tilted her head in confusion, and waited for me to say something. I would admit what happened that night. If I were to admit to what happened that night, though, she might suddenly do a 180, as if flipping a switch. That would make sense. Rika-chan was the Shrine Maiden. She was the least likely to forgive me for breaking the taboo, wasn't she? Upon reflection, wouldn't telling her be more terrifying than telling Mion or Oishi-san? Rika-chan could just give up and leave, couldn't she? She didn't. She only was quietly waiting for me to say it myself. Say it, Keiichi Maebara. If you really are sorry, then you should say so. Of course, it's normal to hesitate given the crazy way Tomitake-san and Takano-san died. A pulping machine called Chaos was grinding up my brain. The juice wrung it out, all of it turned into big droplets of sweat, which began to fall.
Keiichi.
Rika-chan suddenly straightened up, trying to pat me on the head.
I don't really understand what you're worried about, Keiichi.
I had nothing to say to that. I lowered my head a little so that Rika-chan's palm could reach it. She petted me, kind of like one would a cat.
Do you know about the big storehouse a little way behind the shrine grounds? It stores the implements we use for rituals.
My breath literally stopped. Rika-chan, though, wasn't acting in a coercive way at all.
Apparently, on the night of a festival, a snack cut. A cat snuck into the storehouse.
A cat? A snack?
Yes, a cat. Meow, meow.
Rika-chan knew. She realized I was in fear. I could tell she was desperately trying to choose the right words so that she wouldn't scare me.
The cat always wanted to explore inside the storehouse, but I was mean to it and never let it go inside. So, on the night of the festival, the cat couldn't hold itself back any longer and went inside.
The cat was clearly supposed to be Takano-san. Or wait, was it supposed to be me?
Inside, there were actually lots of things that scared the cat.
Rika-chan made a cute gesture like a ghost was coming out to frighten me. She's so adorable. I love her.
The cat was both terrified and amazed. It ran away as fast as it could. Clatter, clatter, shiver, shiver, meow, meow. It was terrible.
This cat, who are you saying it was?
The cat is a cat. Meow, meow.
Rika-chan still avoided saying it. The cat, though, was, without a doubt, me. Catboy Keiichi 100% confirmed! Rika-chan, please, tell me. The cat, what should it do now? Maybe it was a desperate question to ask. I had sort of admitted to being the cat.
The cat is just a cat, so it can keep meowing and everything will be fine.
Everything will be fine. That's stupid.
Shouldn't it just keep meowing?
Please. Rika-chan and I have put together an entire conversation using cat as a code word. I didn't say it directly, but I had already admitted it. I didn't want to end up like those two. I didn't want to be a sacrifice like Shion said. That's what I thought, so I stubbornly remained silent. But now, it's enough. It can't just keep meowing. The dog saw the cat making mischief and sneaking inside.
The dog.
That's right. It was the dog. It keeps coming to the cat and trying to get it to say that it snuck inside.
Oh.
After I said that, Rika-chan's expression clouded over. She was trying to hide it, but I'd already noticed her eyes darkening. Rika-chan. The silence was frightening, so I spurred her on. At that point, Rika-chan grinned.
It's all right. I'll protect the cat.
Oh, Rika, she's so sweet. Oh my god. Huh? I thought for a moment that I had misheard those words. So dependable they were.
The cat is really scared, but it really isn't all that bad. I think all of the dogs are just misunderstanding.
It's not all that bad?
The cat is worrying too much. I'll do something about it for sure.
Rika-chan will do something about it? I don't even know left from right at the moment, so Rika-chan didn't look all that dependable.
It might be hard, but I'll do my best. Raito, oh nano desu. Go for it, yay!
She clenched her fist and stuck it in the air. Rika-chan said that the cat can just keep meowing. She said to leave it all to her. Is that really all it took to resolve this whole thing? Keiichi just needs to be like, okay, yay, meow, meow meow. Will you really be alright, Rika-chan?
If I don't do my best, then something bad could happen to the dogs too.
I had no idea what Rika-chan was talking about anymore. She'd been talking to me under the assumption that I was aware of certain things, so at first I understood her. Around the middle, though, I stopped understanding anything. However, one thing I did know was not to worry, and to leave it to her. Rika-chan straightened up once again, patted me on the head, and smiled. I was so moved by that reassuring feeling that I couldn't help but start to cry. I'm sorry, Cat. It really was just a little bit of mischief. Didn't think any of this would...
Too much of a scaredy cat. That's why it should never have seen the storehouse.
Was right. It was far too shocking for someone to see based on a little bit of interest alone. That's why they made it so difficult to look at in the first place, wasn't it? Rika-chan. What will happen to the cat? Two of the cats that snuck in, well, that night, I'd heard Tomitake-san and Takuno-san's deaths were being kept a secret. Rika-chan might not have known about it.
Tomitake and Takano?
I gave a start at the sudden mention of actual names, though it's weird to do that at this point.
You should forget about them.
My spine froze again. Forget?
Yes, it won't do you any good to remember those two, Keiichi. The more you think about it, the scarier it will get, so you should forget about them as soon as possible.
She said something so enormously terrifying without letting the smile on her face waver at all.
I don't know where you heard about it from, but you should forget everything. Make your mind as clean as a scrubbed bathtub.
Forget? Rika-chan, you know, don't you? You know how those two died.
No matter how they died, it has nothing to do with you, Keiichi.
Rika declared this in a flat voice. Nothing to do with me, so forget about it. The girl before me, she was innocent and lovable, and even seemed trustworthy, but suddenly she took on another dimension. Don't get involved with their deaths. I'll help you, Keiichi. Those two contradictory statements twisted and distorted my image of the girl in front of me. But what about Shion? What'll happen to her? It might have been dangerous to mention Shion's name, but I couldn't stop myself from asking. Rika-chan saw through everything anyway. There was no way I was going to fool her or keep anything from her at this point.
The younger of the sister cats? Meow, meow.
Yeah, the little sister cat. Rika-chan appeared to think upon this for a moment. It was hard for me to endure even this momentary silence.
The big sister cat is angry. The little sister cat did something bad, so she's really mad.
The big sister cat. That could only mean Mion. I recalled being questioned by her yesterday.
Keiichi, the big sister cat is not in a good mood at all. I think we should leave her alone for a while.
Not in a good mood. Those words sent a shiver through me. Mion was mad. She was mad that we entered the ritual storehouse.
Let's stop having club from now on.
Huh? Why?
Think we should leave her alone.
Oh, angry penguin. Oh my goodness. Rika-chan ended her sentence with such force that I couldn't say anything in response. Hey, Keiichi Mayabara. Don't disobey Rika-chan right now. She's the only one who said she'll help me right now. I'll leave things to her just as she said to. I mean, she even said that the cat should just keep meowing. I'll forget everything, like she said. I'll leave everything to her. I'll forget everything about Takuno-san and Tomitake-san and what I did that night. Such a good scene. Just then, we heard a bell far away, marking the end of our lunch break. I guess we should go back to class.
Keiichi.
As if she had noticed how miserable I was, about to leave everything to her and flee the scene, Rika-chan called out to stop me.
The misunderstanding dog comes to try and bite the cat. Please tell me, okay?
Misunderstanding dog. She put it in such a cute-sounding way, but the true meaning behind those words was an eerie one. Who is the misunderstanding dog?
The dog that bit the mayor. I don't know why it did that. If it was going to bite anyone, it would have been the trickster cat first.
What? The flow of blood in my body felt like it completely stopped for a moment. Rika-chan had admitted it, the sacrifices of that terrible calamity. He admitted that if they were to happen again, it would be Shion or I. This didn't know what was true about the girl standing before me. Who's the misunderstanding dog? Who bit the mayor? What's the dog that bit the mayor? And who's the trickster cat? The trickster cat makes me think Takano. She's kind of a trickster. But is she no. Is it Miyoshion? Or My suspicion gave way to fear, and nearly began to change into anger. Was she a savior who would protect me? Or a stranger, trying to capture and kill me for the sake of a horrible tradition? I had no idea what was true.
I'm sorry. The cat is already scared, and I said something to scare it even more. I'm really sorry.
Rika-chan bowed so quickly it looked like her head had been pulled downward. Still, she was right. I was cowering. I could distinctly feel my body shaking violently. So when Rika-chan reached her hand out to pat me on the head, I pulled away without thinking. I'm so... Rika-chan made a very sad face, but I just couldn't bring myself to put out my head for her again. That was such a good scene. I really enjoyed that. Oh my god, I forgot about that scene. Man. I feel like the misunderstanding dog is Oishi. He could have, like... I wouldn't put it past Oishi to, like, be in Hinamizawa, like, see the mayor and be like, hey man, come to this station with me, you know? Okay, gonna have a quick pee break, and then we'll continue for a bit longer. I will return shortly. Man. Who is the trickster cat? The cats are the people who snuck into the storehouse. Is the trickster cat, is she just putting another like descriptive word for it? Or is it a specific person? Who is the misunderstanding dog? Is it Mion? Cause she's angry. But is she misunderstanding? That day, Rika-chan said she wasn't feeling up for club activities, so she suggested we don't bother. I love Rika, man. She's so good. There's always vetoes when someone doesn't feel up to it. Ren and the others seemed really disappointed. The big sister cat is not in a good mood. Okay, no, it's not Mion because she's the big sister cat. I remembered Rika-chan's words and quietly stole a glance at Mion's expression. I could forget the way she questioned me yesterday though, her behavior was the same as it always was. I love how Rika, like, she put everything into cutesy animal terms. Like, that's so good.
Meow, meow. Cats just keep meowing, meow, meow.
And that Keiichi, you just gotta keep meowing. After dinner, without the energy to watch TV, I climbed into the futon in my bedroom and let my head be overtaken by gloomy thoughts. I told Rika-chan anything and everything. She'd seemed trustworthy at the time, but had that really been the right choice? The more I looked back on it, the less I understood what Rika-chan was saying. Not only did she know about Takono-san and Tomitake-san's deaths, but she spoke of them as if she were a concerned party. After all this time, in my futon, I began to tremble fiercely. This adds to my thoughts about, is he, like, he's got, like, symptoms of, like, the thing that's gonna make him tear out his throat? Like, violent shaking? That can happen when you're sick. I don't know. It could just also just be, like, he is really paranoid, really stressed, you know? Had I been lured in by Rika-chan's sweet smile and told her things I shouldn't have? I should have continued to feign ignorance. I shouldn't have shown her such a weak side of me. My emotions are a mix of regret and fear, and it colored the darkness of the night with an additional layer of terror. I want to trust Rika. I think that she cares about us. And she also gave us, like, she gave us a lot of information too. And that shows some level of trust. Suddenly a knock. I might have yelped. That's how surprised I was. Keiichi! I've been calling your name for a while. You have a phone call. It's from Sonozaki-san. It was Dad. I reached out for the cordless phone through the gap in my door. Sonozaki-san, which one? The older sister or the younger? I don't know. Ask her yourself. I took the receiver and buried myself in my futon again. Hello? Mion? Or is it Shion? It's me, Shion. Good evening. I practically jumped out of bed. It was Shion, who I had hoped so desperately would call me back last night. Shion, sorry about last night. I got all riled up. I heard what sounded like a deep sigh on the other end. You and me are in the same position, aren't we? I shouldn't have blamed you for everything like that. I'm sorry, so please, cheer up. Called you because I'm in a better mood. If you're sorry, then I'll forgive you, so please stop apologizing. Shion's tone still sounded a little angry, but for the moment, she said she'd forgive me. You're right, too. We're tied to the same fate. Making sure the other is alright is the only way to guarantee our own safety. Yeah, I agree. We absolutely need to share whatever information we have, so that we don't die, like Takono-san and Tomitake-san did. Gulp. I forced myself to swallow a solid drop of saliva. Then, let's continue from where we left off. You'll listen without getting angry this time, right? Yeah. I'll be fine. Firstly, it seems sneaking into the ritual storehouse was more of a taboo than we thought. Takono-san and Tomitake-san's miserable ends, terrible enough that you could call them a warning. They were more than enough to make me believe that. The culprits killed those two, the ones responsible for sullying the storehouse, and they'll come for us next. I know you want to deny that, but please accept it. It'll be too late to believe me after you've disappeared, okay? I got it. You can never be too careful after all. I don't want to accept it either. To think that sneaking a peek at that museum of torture devices deserves a death like that. I don't want to believe it. That's what a taboo is. For those who honor it, if one breaks the taboo, no matter how small or innocent their intentions were, they wouldn't be forgiven. Let's report anything we notice that seemed strange. If we connect all the tiny pieces that we have, then just maybe we'll find out who killed them, or maybe even the truth behind the incidents of the previous years. If we could find the key that'll resolve everything. You're right. You're right about that. All I was doing was waiting in fear, but Shion had already thought that far ahead. Given how trustworthy she felt, I became embarrassed over how passive I was being. And I'll start, since I suggested it. I feel like somebody has been watching me lately. What? It might be my imagination, but I'll tell you anyway. I think it's just me, but if you feel like you're being watched too, Kei-chan, then maybe it's not just my imagination. Oh man, he's gonna feel like he's being watched from now on. Now that she said that. Well, don't worry. At the very least, everything's been fine for me. I think. As I spoke with Shion, I thought back on today. I had no grounds to say that everything was fine. I see. Then I suppose it was my imagination. But you be careful too, Kei-chan. Be especially careful when you're by yourself in public. I'm in Okinomiya, so I won't be alone very often, but you live in Hinamizawa. There will be a lot of times you'll be alone. Please be extra careful. You're right. Yeah, I'll be careful. Also, about my sister, has she been acting strange lately? Your sister? Oh, Mion, right. What do you mean by acting strangely? Well, yesterday she came to me and asked me where I was on the night of watanagashi. What? That's... She asked me too. The day before yesterday, I think. Mion asked me. I see. I told her I wasn't there. What did you say? I did the same thing. I just dodged the question. Both of us gave a quiet sigh of relief. Ever since the night of the festival, my sister has been acting strangely. We can't be too careful, so just be aware, okay? Mion was acting strangely. Aside from her asking me about the night of watanagashi, she hadn't seemed too out of the ordinary, at least from my point of view. My twin sister, though, was saying she was acting weird. Maybe it was such a slight change that a stranger like me wouldn't be able to notice. Got it. I'll start being careful. I'll always have Rena with me on my way back from school, so I shouldn't end up alone with Mion very often. Please be careful. If there's anything that's bothering you, you can tell me. Alright. Okay, then, is there anything you want to tell me, Kei-chan? My turn. That's right, maybe I should report on Oishi-san asking me the same question at the library. Oh, that time when you were too slow to escape? Yeah. Oishi-san asked me pretty forcefully whether I was with Takano-san and Tomitake-san that night, and whether I had seen you. Oishi-san seemed to have seen the four of us together. From the police's point of view, that would make us the last people who had seen them. I suppose, given that, it's only natural that they'd be interested in us. I evaded the questions then, too, but that might have just made them more interested. There was no way I could have tricked that sly old fox Oishi-san. My troubled countenance would have only made him even more certain. Hey, Shion, since they're the police, couldn't we just tell them? I mean, considering our situation, I think having them on our side would be a good thing. Shion didn't answer right away. For a few moments, all I could hear was her breathing as she thought about it. Now that I think of it, Oishi-san said there was something possibly shady about Mion. At least, I think that's what he said. Yeah, he definitely did. As I explained yesterday, the Sonozaki family holds a lot of influence over Hinamizawa. Oishi is under the impression that the whole village, with the Sonozaki family at the center of it all, is responsible for the recurrent freak deaths. That adds to Oishi being the misunderstanding dog. The whole village is behind them, with the Sonozaki family at the center? Please don't get angry like you did yesterday, and just listen. I hammered that home before I got too upset. During the Hinamizawa Dam Wars, the priest who everyone was anticipating to lead the anti-dam movement acted as though he were unrelated, so the Sonozaki main house rose up to take charge. Okay, so that links the priest. If we didn't have that information before, we do now. That means the priest is, like, potentially seen as pro-dam, or, you know, he wasn't part of the movement against it. My sister told you all about the battles that happened, right? Yeah. All of Hinamizawa got together and fought as one. They held protests, brought it to court, and even appeared on TV. In reality, there were many things that happened that were far more extreme. Under the surface, the Sonozaki main house was doing all sorts of illegal things to oppose it. They were acting illegally? For example, they would sneak into the construction site in the middle of the night and steal equipment, or break it, or put sugar cubes in the gasoline tanks of the construction vehicles. Sugar in their gasoline tanks? Why would they? You don't know? It's practically the representative guerrilla tactic. It was used by underground organizations in France in World War II for one. When you put sugar in, the engine gets burned out and breaks down. That's pretty bad though, isn't it? It was destruction of property and nothing less. When they beefed up the guard at the construction facility, the family turned to attacking important construction personnel who worked there. The government officials who had given permission for the constructions, for example, received all kinds of threats. Not just people from the prefectural office either. Apparently this reached as far as the Ministry of Construction. As far as I've heard, they even kidnapped a child once. kidnapped?
Yes. The child of an important person in the Ministry of Construction who was in charge of the Hinamizawa Dam got spirited away. Then one day all of a sudden he was rescued in the Takatsuro Mountains, which are upstream from Hinamizawa. Apparently there were never any criminal accusations, but people whispered that it had been a threat to stop the dam construction from happening. Besides that, there are stories about so many different threats that I couldn't possibly list them all.
Wow, that's sort of bad, isn't it?
Right in the middle of the whole thing, the first incident happened. That's when the dismemberment of the construction manager occurred. People whispered that the Sonozaki family had brought out the principal offender, but of course, he fled and they still haven't found him.
When she put it that way, the Sonozaki family definitely seems suspicious.
Oishi-san seems to think that the criminal was erased, so he wouldn't talk. Which is pretty reasonable of him. It's even enough to make me think that the Sonozaki main house is doing some really shady things behind the scenes, even though I'm related to them.
Are you telling me to believe that? That the Sonozaki main house where Mion lives has done all those bad things? You're telling me to believe it?
Even if you don't, Kei-chan, the villagers do. While they oppose the dam in upright and lawful ways, the Sonozaki house did the dirty work for them. Everyone believes that they fought at the front, so they'd take the brunt of the criticism. So they're respected as sort of heroes of darkness. I think I only really know one part of it. For example, the really bad stuff, like the kidnapping. I think only a handful of people even know about it, including Grandma. The Sonozaki family is secretive after all.
Secretive, huh? Family so unforthcoming that even Shion, who is related to them, doesn't know everything about them. The Sonozaki family, unlike Shion, her older twin Mion, was deeply involved with everything. And that was not a fun thought to entertain.
My sister, though young, was the one who acted as the center of the illegal resistance movement.
Mion was... What do you mean?
While our dad is a big-shot yakuza, even when she was little, my sister managed to subjugate a bunch of young street rats. Then she played all sorts of tricks on them and just generally got in their way.
Mion did that?
Now she's pretty laid back, so it might be hard to imagine. Hey Shadox, what's up? Good to see ya! She did everything, from property damage to threats and even acts of violence, and she was picked up for it countless times. Though since she was a kid, they could get her released pretty easily. She learned that her age could be used as a weapon.
It may have been indiscreet, but I couldn't help but chuckle dryly. She may have been young, but she was certainly still Mion. Even back then, she had already been known for her craftiness.
Oh, we get into crazy parts.
Where's the doorbell? I may have to mute for a moment. One sec.
I think we're okay.
I think it's just my neighbor.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That's the image I drew of me drinking tea from like a flask. Really unsuccessfully.
It lives on forever.
Alright. Sorry about that. I just didn't want like stuff to pick up on my mic.
It's nothing to laugh about.
Please take this seriously.
Sorry, I didn't mean to. Shion had gotten pretty angry at me. Well, her delinquency soon got her into a position of authority in the Sonozaki main house. It's not unthinkable that Oishi suspects them for the dismemberment incident, and the later ones too. For a few moments, I was dumbstruck at the tales of Mion's past. Do I read? Light novels? Is that... I don't read a lot. Which is kind of crazy because I like visual novels. I haven't like read a book for quite a while. Which is crazy. I used to be really into Warrior Cats, surprise surprise. But yeah. I should read some books. Oh yeah. I read fan fiction. But I don't know if that really counts. Yeah, I just find it a lot easier to, even if it's just with like the visuals that a visual novel gives, I find it a lot easier to get into it. I've never heard of that. Novel series. Crime mystery. Ah. Ooh. I'm looking at the Wikipedia page now. This one is called the Kubikiri cycle. I may look into it. We shall see. The series is like 7 novels long, but only the first 3 have been published in English? Ah, I see. Are they like fan translations? Yeah. I should get into reading again, so perhaps I shall. And say. Alright, none of them match the image I had of her. A younger Mion dirtying her hands with all sorts of crimes, giving the damn construction project hell. Oh, I see. Cool. As the successor to the Sonozaki main family, she was always right at the center of the vortex of strange incidents occurring year after year. Is that really the Mion I know? Maybe the one I know isn't the real Mion? I couldn't figure it out. I couldn't bring myself to accept these images of Mion I was hearing from another person. Well, back to the main subject. I just wanted you to know that my sister is someone worth being cautious around. Please be careful. I didn't want to understand. Mion was a fantastic friend. She would never do something to back me into a corner like that. She did ask me pretty harshly about the night of the festival, but even that, it wasn't like she'd said it in a mean way or anything. Alright, I'll make sure to be careful. My sister's related by blood, but within the Sonozaki family, we're basically of a different class. I want you to recognize how distant my position from hers. Please. The more Shion tells me about Mion, the less I understand who Mion is. The Mion I know wasn't a dangerous person. He joked around, smiled a lot, and was full of passion. Now that I'd realized I held such a view towards her, Mion was telling me to change it. To be careful around the best friend ever. To doubt her. The idea was very sad and painful. Now about Oishi. God damn Oishi. If you think it's a good idea, then I think we should give him the information he needs. I think getting the police on our side will work in our favor. Nuh-uh. Not Oishi. Nuh-uh, not that guy. Nuh-uh. You thought so too, Shion? It's just, at the moment, like I explained, the police have their eyes on the Sonozaki family already. Oishi in particular completely believes that they're the masterminds behind the serial incidents. That includes me, of course. So, I don't really want much to do with Oishi. I see. If Oishi-san had found out about the Sonozaki family's strife-filled history, then he probably wouldn't be very happy with Shion either. At last I understood Mion's instinctive dislike for Oishi-san. Probably out in the open at this point, but try not to give my name to him. If you agree to that, then I don't think there's a problem with you telling him anything. Yeah, it's very close to Oishi. Yeah, I think he does like food. So it's a bit of a pun. It's like almost like an Ace Attorney name. I got it. I won't mention your name. So I don't think this is a good idea. Oishi is not trustworthy at all. And Keiichi is not gonna be mentioning Shion. So Oishi is gonna be focused on Keiichi, and he's gonna do anything to get the results that he wants. The police's investigative ability should be quite a reliable weapon for us right now. If Oishi tells you anything interesting, then let me know as well. There's no way he doesn't know. Like, there's no way Oishi won't find out that, like, we went with Shion and we're just not mentioning her name. Like, that's just gonna... Yeah, of course. We'll share information and investigate together. Who killed Takuno-san and Tomitake-san? Who was after us? Until we know, we need to defend ourselves. Anything else? Besides what Oishi told you, I mean? If anything has happened, no matter how minor, please tell me. Aside from my discussion with Oishi-san? Well, that was the talk about the cats. Meow meow, and the dogs and the cat just gonna keep on meowing, meow meow. Oh, should I tell her that I revealed everything to Rika-chan? Rika-chan was acting like she knew something I didn't. She told me to leave it to her, but what? That's right. When I was talking to her, I mentioned Shion's name too. Was that a mistake? I felt like Shion would get angry. Nothing else? Kei-chan? I had remained quiet for a little while, so Shion encouraged me to speak, unable to bear the silence. As I struggled with what to say, Shion addressed me instead. Doesn't sound like it, so can I ask you something? I just heard this myself. Is it true that Old Man Kimiyoshi went missing? The Old Man Kimiyoshi? My gut told me that was the name of the mayor. You mean the mayor? Wait, Shion, you haven't heard? I don't know anything. I just overheard my dad talking about it on the phone again. I realized I shouldn't have said that. Here in Hinamizawa, the things that happened around this time, when Oyashiro-sama's curse would recur, would all be covered up. Yeah. Actually, last night after a meeting, he didn't come home, so all of Hinamizawa was confused. They searched all through the village, but if they found him, then I haven't heard. The police should be searching for him as well. But why didn't you tell me something that important right away? She shouted angrily at me, bringing all her emotion to bear. Oyashiro-sama needs to chill, yeah! Sorry, I thought you already knew. I didn't want to hide it or anything. The receiver was silent. Did Shion get mad again and hang up? Hey, Shion, hello? Kei-chan, what should I do? Shion's tiny, confused voice sounded like it belonged to a different person than the one yelling a few seconds ago. What's wrong? Tell me. We're not keeping secrets from each other, right? Right, Keiichi. Shion hesitated for a long while, but then she confessed. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hide it. It's just that, well, the conversation got turned around and we're on the same side, right? I won't get mad, so tell me honestly. Shion still hesitated for a few moments. Then, in a resigned voice, she continued. Old Man Kimiyoshi, I told him everything. Oh, did you? Oh, that's interesting. Oh, and then he went missing. Oh. I'm just watching a truck. I think they're gonna start doing like road work on the road. Shion seemed to think that I would yell at her right after she said that, so I heard her catching her breath. Contrary to what she thought, I was a little relieved. Shion had done the same thing I had when I confessed everything to Rika-chan. So, in as gentle a voice as I could, So as not to set her off, I responded. Old man Kimiyoshi. He's someone you feel comfortable confiding to, Shion? Yes, but when I was little, he was really nice to me. Shion felt the same pain as the rest of us from the mayor's disappearance. She had a different kind of strength from Mion, and as she continued, her voice sounded truly sad and pained. All I did was play tricks on him, but he would always just smile. He listened to anything I had to say. He was such a kind person. Calm down, Shion. It's not like he's dead, right? Don't lose heart so easily. Shion didn't answer. Even as I said it myself, I didn't think we'd ever find the missing mayor again. We probably didn't even figure out if he was alive or dead. Shion must have been thinking the same thing. That night, I told the mayor that we snuck into the ritual storehouse. Also that someone saw us and was out to get us. Does the mayor know how absurdly Takuno-san and Tomitake-san died? Yes, he knew about it. I told him that they died by Oyashiro-sama's curse and that I could be made a sacrifice to calm his anger. So, she told him... That night? Like yesterday night or the night of the watanagashi? She wouldn't have known that they were dead on the night of the watanagashi, would she? I told him that they died by Oyashiro-sama's curse and that I could be made a sacrifice to calm his anger. I just said it straight out. Right. What then? Old man Kimiyoshi didn't get angry. He smiled, then told me that if I was properly sorry about it, there's no way I'd be demoned away. He was really smiling. Told me to leave it to him. Until Shion stopped sobbing, I was unable to find any words for her. I couldn't imagine what kind of person the mayor was, nor what Shion's relationship with him was like. Words of comfort, however, mean so much to us when we're about to be crushed by anxiety. Today, Rika-chan taught me that too. If someone who gave me such a sense of security were to disappear, then I could guess what kind of shock Shion was in. It's my fault, because I revealed everything. Stop it, Shion. It's not your fault. No, it is my fault. I told him everything. Old man Kimiyoshi found out about everything, so he has to have been killed. It was right after I told him, after all. He disappeared the same night that I confessed, and he told me everything was going to be alright. Found out. So he became involved. I should never have told him. All of this should have just been our fault. Only the four of us. It wasn't something I should have told to someone else. He got killed because I told him. He got killed because he knew. He got killed because I revealed it. Hey, stop. If they were doing that, then they would obviously have killed you before killing the mayor. The order is all wrong. You or I should have been killed first. Why the hell would someone else get killed first? No, it's in order. They must be planning to kill us last of all. What? They're not killing the first people who come to mind. They start by killing those we're close to, and then after they've caused us so much pain, they'll kill us. That must be what they're doing. I said calm down. Shion, you're in shock. You're panicking. The mayor's disappearance has nothing to do with you. It's unconnected. It's not related to Takuno-san and Tomitake-san dying at all either. My words came out as a scream, as if I was shouting them at myself. No, it is connected. It just has to be. I told him, so he was killed. He got killed because he knew. I confessed it to him, so he got killed. He repeated the same thing as though she were in a delirium. Words, so words. Despite my trying to console the crazed Shion, for some reason the shadow at my feet began to freeze. From that shadow, a cold arm reached out, so cold it seemed like it would freeze even my heart just by touching me, and grabbed my ankle. The heat generated by my body, the arm was absorbing it. It was a horrible chill, a freezing cold, numbingly frigid. It was what is that word? Educational stream. Let's find out what this word is.
Inviolable.
Inviolable. Never to be broken, infringed, or dishonored. It was an inviolable ill of fear. Makes sense. Though I sympathized with Shion, I had been naive in thinking it was something only she had to worry about. In my head, Shion's eerie words repeated again and again. He was killed because I told him. He was killed because he found out I confessed everything. So he was killed. Those words echoed through my head like a monotone mantra, and finally, those even repetitions took on meaning. The quiet shaking that had already taken over me turned into a violent shiver that shot up my spine. Rika-chan. It's Rika-chan. What? What did you say just now? Well, the truth is I told her about it. I told Rika-chan today. Rika-chan? You mean Rika-chama? The one from the Furude shrine? Yes, Rika-chan. I felt so scared and uneasy that I did it. I told Rika-chan. What did she say?
The cat is worrying too much. I'll do something about it for sure.
That's what Rika-chan said. And then she smiled. She smiled, just like the missing mayor had when he encouraged Shion. I'm sorry, Shion. I'm worried about Rika-chan. Oh, right. If you're that concerned, then don't worry about me. Please go and find out whether she's safe. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll call you again tomorrow at the same time. When I do, you'll know I'm still alright. I got it. I'll be waiting. Okay, bye. Sorry. I'm hanging up. Ask for her number! Put down the receiver without waiting for Shion to say goodbye. The danger to Shion and myself was secondary at this point. My sixth sense was blaring alarms in my head. I don't like this feeling. It's really bad. It's definitely bad. Damn it, please be safe, Rika-chan. Oh. It's probably a good point for me to stop today. We're really getting into it this chapter. Oh, okay, that's the end of the chapter. Okay, let's do the tips and then we'll end the stream. Another scrapbook thing. Let's see. The three families in modern times. As previously described, the three families council today is a mere shell of democracy. In reality, it is a dictatorship run by the Sonozaki family. Both the Kimiyoshi and Furude families are far from their former glory, and it doesn't seem at all like they've maintained the ancient traditions. Only the Sonozaki family has retained their glory from the past and has inherited many colorful traditions from the age known as Onigafuchi village. Even the most recent, verifiable example of watanagashi that occurred at the end of the Meiji era seems to have been done under the orders of the Sonozaki family. Refer to the three families' genealogical tree from the late Meiji. At the start of the Meiji era, the Sonozaki family wanted to push the development of Hinamizawa village, so they took a strong role in leadership. During the dam wars a few years ago, the Kimiyoshi family served as the chair of the opposition alliance, but this was in name only. In actuality, the Sonozaki family reigned as leader behind the scenes. People whisper that perhaps the Kimiyoshi family dictated acts of opposition that could be publicized, and the Sonozaki family enacted those which could not. Even in Hinamizawa, they whisper that the multitude of unsettling incidents reported during the dam protests, such as the kidnapping of the famous head of the Ministry of Construction's son, had been carried out by the Sonozakis. Additionally, they say that perhaps the Sonozaki family's secret maneuvering was responsible for the serial freak death incidents that have continuously occurred in recent years as well. The serial freak death incidents are without a doubt the second coming of the traditional watanagashi. They must be enacting the watanagashi on the day of the original watanagashi, which has fallen to the level of an ordinary village festival, in order to remind the villagers of the holy laws of Onigafuchi village. It's safe to assert that exploring the Sonozaki family is the safest route for researching it today. If I can expose the contents of the Furude Shrine's storehouse, I'd like to narrow my research to target the Sonozaki family next. The Sonozaki house is strictly guarded by security cameras on the premises, but thankfully I've become acquainted with the sisters Mion, the next heir, and Shion. I want this to be a breakthrough I can connect to my next line of research. Interesting. The punishment isn't over? No, don't worry about it. You see, when you order the Odin here, for some reason it ends up on the annual invoice for our guest contract, so don't be shy and have another drink. The man, red-faced, waved his hand to say that he'd had enough and disappeared into the brilliant neon lights in front of the station. Kuma-chan, you should be taking notes. The most modest people are the ones who live the longest. Was all that true? Well, I don't know about that. Whether or not it's true, I think there's meaning in hearing something that sounds so plausible. Would something like that be a motive to go for the mayor? Kuma-chan, here's what I always say. The motive only has to be enough for the person in question. You need to think about how different people value different things. Hey bartender, give me another mug. Though we have been suppressing the information, Tomitake and Takano's deaths were already known throughout Hinamizawa. All of the rumors pointed to them having incurred the wrath of Oyashiro-sama for setting foot in the Forbidden Temple, the storehouse for ritual implements. According to the rumors, there were 2 people who went in there with them, Shion Sonosaki and Keiichi Maebara. People were whispering in the shadows that those 2 would be cursed by Oyashiro-sama as well. Apparently, however, the responsibility didn't fall solely on the 4 trespassers' shoulders. Until last year, it was locked up tight, but this year it had been changed to a simpler lock. Hadn't that been what allowed thieves to enter so easily? That's weird. That's weird. That's strange. It's weird. Those were the rumors going around. Have you ever seen it, Kuma-chan? I remember it well. I had to go there for something quite a while back. Sorry, I don't really remember. It was locked up so tight it was scary. There were these real heavy bars holding it shut. It was sealed up as good as a bank vault. This year it was a very simple and cheap padlock. The lone girl protecting the shrine, Rika Furude, disliked the heavy locks and consulted with the mayor, who had replaced it with a simpler padlock. Then the mayor and Rika Furude share the crime, so then, after the mayor, wouldn't Rika Furude be in danger next? Oh. That's like... oh wow. Okay, so like... Shion's like, he went missing because I told him, but these guys are like, he went missing because he changed the lock. And then Rika, for the same reason. Keiichi told her everything, and she wanted the lock to be changed. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. There's a decent possibility. Kuma-chan, I want you to contact all the cars we have in Hinamizawa. Tell them to stick near the Furude shrine. Hey, it's in character, he's been drinking, okay? Got it. Oh man, oh no. Is Rika next? Oh god. It's interesting how the perspectives are so different. The cops are like, yeah, because of the lock. But, Shion and Keiichi are like, yeah, because we told them. I'm so interested to see how it plays out. Oh my god. We got through a couple chapters today. Yahoo! Yay! But I'm gonna end it there. I don't think I will be streaming tomorrow. I probably need to rest, and also it's the last episode of Avemushika, and I'm really excited. So yeah, thank you very, very much. Oh my god, Dream. I'm just ending the stream. Perfect timing. It's good to see you. Did anyone die? Well, I mean, Tomitake is dead in the same way, and Takano is burned and dead in an oil drum in the mountains. And also the mayor of the village has gone missing. I think this was a pretty important stream. I'm thinking I probably will take some notes, like just go through the stream again, take some notes because we got a lot of information. And I think it's going to be useful in the future. But yeah, thank you very much for coming. I'm sorry, you just caught the end of a stream. That's fine, that's fine. All right. So yeah, no stream tomorrow, but I mean, I guess I'll be streaming Saturday probably. Yeah. Thank you, everyone. I'll see you in the next stream. Bye bye. Have a good day or night. Bye bye.